Hello, everybody. All right, we are here for week 7 of the Hoothoot Draft Association. And yeah, we are having a pretty good season, but I think this is definitely the toughest week so far. And I feel like I've said that for the past like 5 weeks in a row, or something, but it's true. So last week we did suffer our first game loss. We went 2-1 against Blake, and the Pangoro. Um, First game loss of the season, but the whole squad really did clutch up in game 2 and game 3. Samurott got a critical hit on a Night Slash that may have saved the set. Would have been interesting to see how the damage rolls came out because it was again 1v1 against Houndstone. But ended up getting us to game 3, and Dragonite and Simipour really kind of took that game over. Trevenant was mostly useful, although there was a questionable Trick Room play for me in game number 1. Arcanine was just good all around. And Phalanx put down a lot of damage, picked up a lot of KOs in those games, up to 9 KOs in 4 games, in fact. So Phalanx putting in a fair bit of work on this season. In spite of being a much more situational pick than maybe I would like for a Pokemon of that draft pedigree. But now 6-0 in season, 12-1 in games, almost a perfect match point score. Blake obviously contributing to that one blemish, but Blake's a damn good player. I'm very happy to have even gotten the win. I think that set could have very easily gone the other way. 2 weeks ago until playoffs, we are 100% locked into playoffs. Mathematically speaking, we can still fall all the way down to a 5 seed, I think. We could still finish first overall. And as I mentioned, each week keeps getting harder. As you see, Andrew already played this week with another 2-0, has an edge over us. But most notably, we've started tracking strength of schedule, and we are currently sitting at numero uno in strength of schedule across the entire league, not just our conference. Which is because we've played almost every single team on this graphic, right? We played Craig, we played EJ, we're playing AJ this week, we played Blake, we played Austin, and we play Andrew next week. So it's not an easy schedule, to say the least. I'll be honestly happy at this point with the season, even if I don't win another game. But this week, we're going up against AJ, the Bloomington Bidoofs, and this team is scary for a lot of reasons. He's got lots of really good Pokemon. It's a very well-constructed team, and I think he got pretty good value out of his single Mega Evolution being the Medicham. Garchomp is just a really ridiculously good Pokemon, and not being required to hold a Mega Stone frees it up to run Resist Berries, frees it up to run something like Life Orb, frees it up to run really whatever it wants. Rotom Heat is particularly annoying. All the Rotoms are particularly annoying, but I think Rotom Heat and Rotom Wash are the two that are most annoying for my team, which is why they're the two highest valued Rotoms. Gyarados is just annoying. It's hard to remove. Serperior and Scolipede both really just have potential to kind of scale out of control. Mega Medicham just does a dumb amount of damage, and then he has a Raichu and he has a Steelix. And we're at a pretty bad speed disadvantage against this team as well. Like, going back looking at it, our fastest Pokemon is Simipour. AJ has 4 Pokemon that outspeed it. So I think we're going to have to get very creative. The good news is that AJ doesn't have a ton of explicit speed control. He's pretty reliant on Electro Web from one of the electric types, something like Speed Boost Scolipede, or maybe an Icy Wind that I don't know about. I think Gyarados gets Icy Wind on this team. I'm not 100% certain off the top of my head. Something I probably should have done a better job of checking up on prior to this match, but that's okay. Yeah, it's definitely not an easy matchup, though. That's the long and the short of what I'm trying to say. I think that realistically, there's 4 Pokemon I can guarantee to see this week. Like I said, Rotom and Gyarados are just really, really annoying for my team to remove, which is going to make them pretty annoying and pretty challenging. And then Garchomp, I think, is just too good for him to not bring. It just offers too much damage, and it's too versatile. You can run physical Garchomp, you can run special Garchomp. Gyarados does get Icy Wind. Okay, that's good to know. There's also 4 Pokemon that get Bulldoze on that team, which is good to know. And then Mega Medicham, I think, is really, really good. It just offers a ton of damage. It's his only Mega, so like you might as well bring it. Has really good coverage options: Ice Punch, Fire Punch, Thunder Punch, Close Combat, Zen Headbutt, Stab moves. Has Fake Out, can do lots of really crazy things. And of the other Pokemon, I think all of them can come, but I think they are all less easy for AJ to bring. Superior and Scolipede both have potential to kind of scale out of control. Scolipede with speed boost, Superior with contrary, but they're not amazing into us unilaterally. Like, Superior gets dragon coverage and has Leaf Storm, but I like that only helps against some of the team. It's like, for example, gets completely walled by Metagross. Scolipede, just not the strongest Pokemon in general, so it could come, but I don't think it's going to be like AJ's best option into us. Raichu offers a faster fake out than Simipour, which I think is the biggest and probably singular reason to bring it. There is a lead of like Raichu plus Rotom that is like actually really scary if it ends up being a Scarf Rotom. And then Steelix could come as like an anti-Trick Room option, which I think Trick Room looks like a pretty straightforward option for me this week. Go ahead and run down the team, right? Dragonite's coming. Dragonite's my best Pokemon. We're going with max HP, max special attack modest, just running like the most boring Dragonite set I could. There's a lot of coverage options for Dragonite that are intriguing this week, but ultimately I just decided to stick with bread and butter because Dragon Pulse hits pretty much all of AJ's team for neutral damage, hits Garchomp for super effective, which is probably the most threatening Pokemon, and then Stab Hurricane just threatens to delete 3 of his Pokemon, right? There is no way that Medicham, Superior, or Scolipede can be EV'd to live that move. And Dragon Pulse, like, we're still hitting Rotom for like a 2-hit KO, hitting Gyarados for really good damage, probably just obliterating Raichu because it has no bulk. Hisuian Arcanine coming this week, just max Focus Sash set with Rock Slide and Extreme Speed on top of Flare Blitz and Protect. I think Intimidate's pretty valuable into AJ's team, particularly the Garchomp and the Medicham, who I anticipate coming, but also it could be valuable into Scolipede, Gyarados, Steelix. Fire Rock is just really good coverage for us to have. Fire hits 3 Pokemon for super effective. Rock hits half of his, not half, hits a good chunk of his team for super effective damage, and there's always a flinch chance, and Extreme Speed is never bad to have as well. There is something like an upper hand out of Medicham I might have to be worried about, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Metagross is just coming as an all-out attacker this week. Life Orb, max bulk. The idea is to get Metagross in under Trick Room thanks to Trevenant. Psychic Fangs is just good stab move, Bullet Punch good priority. Thunder Punch should always Oko Gyarados unless it's like Wackenberry or insanely physically bulky, and Ice Punch should do the same to Garchomp unless there's a Yachi Berry. We'll also hit like Superior for good damage, gives us a neutral hit into Steelix if we absolutely need it. Trevenant is here this week. Trevenant is really actually here as a Trick Room setter full on this week, which is why we're running Mental Herb. I think that Taunt is something that AJ could really lean into to stop me from setting Trick Room. Poltergeist, I probably am running this move too much at this point, but Poltergeist is just my best offensive option to most of those Pokemon with Trevenant, and it threatens a one-hit knockout into Medicham unless he super invests in his physical bulk. We're EV'd to always live any of the punch moves from Medicham, and we have a roll to live Blaze Kick from Adamant Medicham. We always live Blaze Kick from Jolly Medicham with this much defense investment. Will-O-Wisp is here to kind of just shut down Steelix if it does make an appearance under Trick Room, and Knockoff is here to remove Resist Berries to stop Metagross from getting walled out by something like Garchomp or Gyarados. I'll talk about Heracross last because I think it's the most interesting bring this week. Simipour is here to do what Simipour does. It's here to be a support piece. It's here to really, as I believe I have a room code. Okay, cool. I have a room code, so we'll get right into the match here in a second when I'm done yapping. But it's here to support with Fake Out. It's here to set up a Rain for Dragonite. I mean, Rain's not really something that AJ's team takes super strong advantage of, so I think it's fine here. Opting for Helping Hand just because I don't want to give Superior any speed boosts thanks to Contrary. And I think that Helping Hand should really get me across a lot of damage thresholds for like Dragonite or Arcanine that maybe we're coming up a little bit short on. I don't really expect Simipour to be around for very long. The Wackenberry is just here in case of like Electro Web, or if Raichu decides to go offensive with like Thunderbolt or something, should maybe allow us to stick around. But I mean, if we get like hit by close combat by Medicham, we're just dead and there's nothing I can do about it because Focus Sash is more valuable on Arcanine this week. I went back and forth on this last slot a lot, and I settled on Heracross over either double Megas with Phalanx or double Water types with Samu. And the idea is just that I feel like Scarf Heracross, while not good into Rotom, which is his most like Scarf Rotom outspeeds us by 1 if he goes with Timid. If he goes with Modest Rotom, we're faster, and then we can hit it with a Knockoff to remove its Scarf. We can hit Rock Slide to get chip damage to go for a flinch. We're opting for Lunge this week because I think Lunge is a good chip option into the physical attackers to lower their damage output. Close Combat's just Heracross's best move. I don't really see a reason to run Guts this week, so we're going with Moxie. Knockoff is here again to give us a faster option for the same thing as Trevenant's Knockoff. Basically, remove like a Hobbin Berry from Garchomp and then have Dragonite blow it away with Dragon Pulse, or remove like a Koba Berry or something like that. So, yeah, we're going to go ahead and get into this one. I've kind of made my peace with this matchup. It's definitely not easy. There's no easy weeks in this league, but this is the least easy so far. So we're going to see how this goes. 2, 4, 9, 7. Nicknames this week. I went back and forth, and I ended up going with like a mix of... What? Okay, well, we'll wait for whatever this is to stop. But yeah, obviously, what I didn't really talk about is how good of a player AJ is. So he has no, we're not using our actual ranked team. We're gonna go down to actually use the draft league team. Yeah, AJ, top 16s, Indianapolis Regional and Regulation MA, day 2 to NAIC, day 2 to the Grand Champions Festival at the beginning of Pokemon Champions. Has a couple other day 2s to his name, so he's a very, 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 very good player. And I think I'm going to be under a lot of pressure to play well into him. So we're going to have to see how this one goes. But yeah, we'll see. Hit him with the good luck, have funsies. But yeah, I feel like this is about as good a prep as I could have had this week. Maybe could have done a few things a little bit more specialized, but we're going to find out. We're going to find out how this goes. So, fingers crossed. Okay. No real surprises. He brought the 4 I expected. Raichu Scolipede is kind of an interesting combination of the other two. But I think this means that my Trick Room mode is pretty solid. I have to be careful about... In this situation specifically, I have to be careful about Raichu plus Rotom in the lead. So him leading double electric types could be really, really bad, and I don't think it's the most outlandish thing possible. Gyarados is also a problem. So I think my line here is to lead these two. Go for Fake Out Trick Room on turn 1, except if it's Raichu and Rotom specifically. Then the angle is to hard swap into Arcanine for Trevenant and go for a Scald to get chip damage into Rotom and play it from there. So, although I don't expect to really get that off, I expect the Fake Out would go into Simipour. So we're going to have to see how this goes. Yeah, Dragonite, Heracross, the fast mode's probably a game 2 adaptation, if I feel like the Trick Room mode won't work a second time, but since there's no Steelix, I feel like we should be in a good spot. I feel good. I feel good about what I'm seeing so far. I'm gonna need my damage calculator up. So no Superior, we have, Scolipede, and we have Raichu, Alola. Okay. Okay, this is actually fine. So Magnet and then Focus Sash on Scolipede is really, really interesting. How do I want to play this? One angle I can go for is to just immediately hard swap into Metagross and threaten a ton of damage. Although then I open myself up to a potential double up, and I don't know that I want to do that. So I'm going to fake out Trick Room. Okay, that's fine. I'm okay with this play. I'm okay with taking the fake out. This is fine. Swords Dance is not what I wanted to see, but I'm also not upset about that, considering that I'm getting Trick Room up here. Like, I don't think that Scolipede really threatens Metagross too much here. I'm kind of anticipating a Protect from that slot. So I'm going to go for Poltergeist into Raichu. It is Focus Sash, so I need to keep that in mind, but if I'm right about this call, and it's a Protect on Scolipede, then a double up next turn is just absolutely free. And getting rid of this Raichu could be pretty advantageous, I would think. Had I just switched straight into Metagross, this is like the most amazing board state I could have asked for. So Metagross hits the board. Raichu switches. I kind of figured that was a possibility. Gyarados coming in. Yep, saw that coming. That was like kind of a play that I thought I could see. Clear Body from Metagross coming in clutch here. Okay, and we see the Protect come out from Scolipede. So this is pretty much the turn I expected. Poltergeist is going to come out, and it's Walkin' Berry Gyarados. Okay, so if we're going to go for that slot, we need to make sure we're going for a double up with knockoff. Good to know. So one play I have access to here is Psychic Fangs into you and double up with like knockoff or Poltergeist. I think a double up into that slot is pretty free overall. We know there's Raichu in the back, but there's no other resist for Psychic Fangs other than Raichu. And I can double into that slot with Poltergeist, which should pretty much be a guaranteed KO. So I think that's the play I want to take here. I don't think I'm under threat from Gyarados, so Poltergeist gonna attack it with its Focus Sash. Brant. That's really good damage, especially considering we're intimidated. Psychic Fangs. Hamnam. Bye-bye Scolipede. AJ does have to bring Scolipede to 2 more games this season, so I think this is probably trying to appease that requirement. We reveal Life Orb, which is fine. And it's Dragon Dance Gyarados. Okay, that was something else that I thought was at least possible. So you can go into Raichu here, have Fake Out Pressure. I can Will-O-Wisp Gyarados. Yeah, Raichu coming in makes sense. I don't have Protect on Metagross, which is not ideal, but I have to imagine that Thunder Punch would still KO all the same. Like, this has to be, like, this has to be Fake Out into Metagross, surely, right? Surely he doesn't give me Electric. Surely, if he's running Walkin' Berry, he knows I could be running Thunder Punch. And I'm okay with revealing it here in this game. It is Fake Out. Okay, so we don't reveal Thunder Punch yet. Gyarados, no Protect, so Will-O-Wisp does land. So we've not revealed Knockoff yet. Will-O-Wisp will burn Gyarados here. So that's pretty good for us. Flinch. Ice Fang reveal. That also makes a lot of sense, but Trevenant takes that just fine thanks to the Will-O-Wisp burn. This Pokemon is way too good for being an E tier. Like, for where I drafted Trevenant, it's way too good. How do I want to play this one? I don't want to reveal Thunder Punch yet, and I don't feel like I have to, knowing that there's a Walkin' Berry. I think I'm okay to just go for Psychic Fangs and Poltergeist. Okay, switch out from Raichu, preserving the Fake Out pressure. Garchomp. Okay, Garchomp I expected to see here. Gyarados protects, that's fine. I almost wanted to click Ice Punch into the Garchomp slot there. I almost wanted to do it. Ended up not going for it, but that's fine. Okay. Psychic Fangs into Gyarados again. We're chilling. Okay. So the play I want to make here is swap in Arcanine for Intimidate and set up a second Trick Room. If Garchomp is like special attacker with Draco Meteor, I can see this going very poorly for me, but I'm very inclined to actually think it might be special Garchomp right now. Ice Fang, so he's doubling into the tree. That makes a lot of sense. Oh, but it's Earthquake. Okay, so physical Garchomp. We're going to go down to Sash here. Yep. So Sash revealed. Good job, Arcanine. You took it. You took the EQ. So Trevenant's going to get up a second Trick Room. And it is Life Orb Garchomp, which I kind of anticipated. Life Orb Garchomp is just way too damn good, and I haven't really been able to scout AJ's games. But I have to imagine that, like, Life Orb Garchomp is just, like, the best set most of the time, especially in a matchup like this where, like, he could be running Resist Berries, absolutely, but, you know, I just, you know, yeah. So I think here I'm fine to just go for Rock Slide Will-O-Wisp into Garchomp. Okay, Gyarados protects. I'm expecting Garchomp probably also protects. It doesn't. Okay, so we're going to land a Wisp, which Trevenant should now survive the turn. I would like it if he gave me a free switch into Metagross, but I'm also okay with just getting damage down. Rock Slide Flinch would be very cheesy in this instance. I don't think it's very applicable. Okay, we do Rock Slide Flinch, so yeah, we're just a bastard. We're just a bastard. Poltergeist into Gyarados, I think, sounds pretty good here. Just to cover for a Raichu swap in. Although with both Pokemon burned... Okay, damn, look at me. Gyarados swapping out for Raichu. I mean, it does preserve Intimidate. Garchomp protects. Okay, so Poltergeist I would expect to pick up this Raichu. I'm also terrible. I have not taken a single goddamn note. Why do I keep forgetting to take notes in Draft League matches? Ah! Poltergeist missed. That's funny. Okay. So he is stalling out my Trick Room, which is annoying. Although this being said... So I would expect Fake Out into Arcanine here, or maybe a switch into Gyarados in the Raichu slot. I think I'm down to just Poltergeist Garchomp here. Okay. Pivot. Okay, so we know... Okay. -2 now on Trevenant, so Poltergeist probably doesn't pick up Garchomp. Does put it into flame, or into burn range, though. Earthquake does come out. I expect Metagross to take this pretty well. Garchomp, Gyarados, Wakon, Intim, D-Dance, Protect. The problem here is now that Raichu has Fake Out pressure into Metagross, which I don't love for us. But we also don't have Protect. So there's not really a lot I can do about it. But that being said, Gyarados burned, not the biggest threat, so I'm just gonna I'm down to just kind of let it live its life. Poltergeist gets rid of Raichu. I don't think we've seen anything from Raichu other than yeah. I think here I can go for Psychic Fangs and preserve Trevenant and pivot Simipour back in. So, Raichu, Gyarados, Garchomp, and... Ice Fang into Simipour. That's adorable. So, Psychic Fangs cleans up. Rough Skin, presumably. Yeah, so that's a pretty clean game one. Oh, it was Scolipede. Scolipede. Speed Boost. Sash. SD. Protect. We didn't really see anything else out of Scolipede, and then there's Rotom, Heat, and okay. That worked so well, I almost want to just run it back, but AJ's smart enough if he's... So there's no... We don't know about any Focus or any Choice Scarf, so I'm guessing there's a Choice Scarf on Rotom, if it's here. So... Man, like, that worked so well. I want to, but, like... Man, let's see, it's tough. Like, I want to run it back, but I also feel like his adjustment... Like, I know what his adjustment should be. Because if he leads Raichu plus Rotom and goes for Overheat into Trevenant... I still have counterplay to that, though, is the thing. I still have counterplay to that. With the Pokemon I brought. So... Yeah, I'm just going to go for the run back. I'm going to go for the run back. This is a little bit risky, but I think I can get away with it. I think we saw Protect from Raichu? I feel like most of that game was just AJ clicking Protect, though. We also didn't reveal the knockoff combo yet, either, so... Okay, so it's a run back from AJ's side. It's Raichu Scolipede again. So he called me to not run back, and I called him out that I would run it back, so... Okay. The switch up here is to immediately hard switch into Metagross to get it in position. And I think we still just go for a Trick Room here. Because, yeah, this combination of Pokemon should never be able to KO Trevenant. So, yeah. I'm going to hard switch Trick Room. Which is the play I wanted to make in Game 1, but was too chicken to. I think that this is just a much better play. Okay, it's Thunderbolt into Metagross. We take that pretty well. And it's another Swords Dance. Okay, so Raichu, T-Bolt, and Trick Room. Okay. So, importantly, we know that we live another Thunderbolt from Raichu. And we know about Focus Sash on the... Okay, he swaps out Raichu again into Garchomp. Gyarados, okay. Okay. Yep, Scolipede doesn't protect. I had a feeling he might do that. Yeah, and now Psychic Fangs, bam, bam, cleans that up. Life Orb, we might be in range of a Thunderbolt from Raichu here, so we have to be a little bit mindful of that. We've not revealed any of our coverage moves yet, though. So if he goes into... Okay, he goes into Garchomp. So I have to make a call here as to basically who I feel like I need to deal with more with... So we've seen Protect from both. I can Ice Punch and Wisp to cover for no Protect on Gyarados. He doesn't protect either. Oh my god, okay. Yeah, I think, yeah, AJ's really kind of just swinging for the fences at this point. Burn into Gyarados, though, is really good for us. Ice Punch reveal. This should always KO Garchomp. Yep. Rough Skin, not recoil I really wanted to take, but at this point, I don't think it really matters. Life Orb recoil also ticking down Metagross, so... Metagross putting in work. Ice Fang into Trevenant. We don't want to see a freeze. That would be bad. Okay, good. No freeze. Raichu comes back out. So, again, like, I would expect this to be Fake Out into the Metagross slot. I think Trevenant, we can just go for Poltergeist into the Raichu. D-Dance, Protect, Ice Fang. I'm guessing it's Waterfall fourth. Yep, Fake Out into Arcanine. I'm okay with that. That's fine. Intimidate plus Burn will stick. Poltergeist into Raichu. I can't imagine it survives this, even at -1. Like, it's just so frail, and with the Focus Sash on Scolipede, yeah, bye-bye. Yeah, and it is just Dragon Dance from Gyarados here, so... I have to imagine it's going to be, like, Protect to stall out Trick Room. We can just go for Rock Slide and Poltergeist here. Actually, I can even further guarantee this. I'm going to go into Simipour and Poltergeist. Because then I have Fake Out pressure on the following turn. And that just guarantees I get up another Trick Room. And with Gyarados having Dragon Danced... Okay, he's going to actually swing, so... Poltergeist still doing really, really good damage. It is Waterfall revealed. Okay, Simipour's going to take that just fine. We're happy to see it. Good job, Simipour. And then, yeah, Fake Out plus Trick Room should pretty much just lock this up. Fish Protein. That's a funny nickname. I like the protein nickname theme. Burn ticks down. I mean, Trevenant just refusing to die in this matchup, I think, yeah. Helping Hand plus Poltergeist secure the KO. I'm not going to even reveal the tech. Yep. Yep, Poltergeist connects, and that does it. Okay, GG's to AJ. Feels really good to get a clean 2-0 like that this week after kind of struggling against Blake a lot. Like, again, like, really, really good player. He was kind of obligated to bring Scolipede either this week or next week, so I feel like that definitely influenced it a little bit for him. But I think we made a really, really good call in just sticking to the game plan that worked so well in game one. And, like, probably the two Pokemon that I think I was most worried about were Rotom and Medicham, which he didn't end up bringing in either game. So that really, I think, swung things into my favor a fair bit. But, yeah, I mean, Metagross, Trevenant, just absolutely hard carried that one. And then Simipour, Arcanine both did their job. So, yeah, GG's to AJ. And, yeah, we're going to be back next week playing Roundy for, I believe, de facto #1 overall seed in our conference. If I look at the standings, there's basically, there's no way that anybody can catch Roundy or I in the standings at this point. So whoever wins gets first, whoever doesn't gets second. So a little bit of gamesmanship for seeding, but it's going to be a phenomenal matchup for sure. Roundy, also another phenomenal player. So stick around, keep your eyes tuned for that one in about a week. But yeah, I'm going to get on out of here. Thanks for watching. Peace.